Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to season chicken 4 different ways. So I'm starting off with 4 chicken tenderloins. For all 4 of these, the seasoning is going to be exactly the same. So I'm going in with some sea salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. So as you can see, we're starting all 4 of them at the same point. But for this one, for the first one, I'm gonna leave it just like it is. I'm not gonna do anything else to it. So we're leaving it like this. It's seasoned, but the seasoning is not rubbed in. We just sprinkled it on there and that's it. For the second one, I'm gonna go ahead and rub that seasoning all over the meat. So I'm gonna really take the time to really rub that seasoning onto the meat. Make sure that it's in every nook and cranny. So this one, we didn't do anything to. This one we rubbed in. Now we're going to number 3. And this one we're gonna let marinate. So we're gonna put this into a Ziploc bag. And on top of the seasoning that's already in there, we're also gonna add some oil. Close up the bag and then just massage the meat with the oil. And finally, for number 4, we're gonna take our meat and again, we're gonna put it into a Ziploc bag. And this time, not only are we gonna add a drizzle of oil, we're also gonna add a touch of some citrus just to tenderize it even more. And then of course, we're gonna rub this one in as well. So now we have our 4 pieces of meat. We have 2 that are just seasoned and 2 that are marinated. I'm gonna let these sit for at least 30 to 45 minutes, but we can go ahead and cook these 2 now and see what the difference is between the 2. So I have my pan on medium-high heat and I'm going in with a little bit of avocado oil. While the chicken was cooking, I went ahead and cleaned and disinfected my cutting board, and now I'm gonna just put these right back in the same spot they were in before so we can compare. So here's the one where I just went ahead and put the seasoning on it without rubbing it in at all. And here's the one that we did rub in. Typically, there would be a much bigger difference visually between these 2, but because the chicken was wet, the seasoning kind of soaked into it regardless. And that's another tip: if you season wet chicken, it's gonna kind of do the work for you. But if you were to season dry chicken, the seasoning would just sit right on top versus how it kind of melted in on this one. So you can't really see a huge difference between these 2 right now. But like I said, had I dried the chicken off first, you would be able to see a much bigger difference. And most of the seasoning will probably still be in the pot or in the pan. So that's just a little tip. So here's what they're looking like. The one on top, you can kind of tell that it's starting to lighten in color a little bit because of that citrus. It really does work on like the chemical bonds of the chicken and it breaks it down that way. And then the one that has only the oil, it's will still kind of happen a little bit, but just at a much slower pace. So you get a much quicker tenderization with some citrus or some vinegar. You need something acidic. So this time I'm not gonna add any oil to the pan because we already have it on the chicken. So here's the one that we seasoned only with oil, and here's the one where we used oil and lime juice. When I tell y'all these smell so good. Now I'm gonna give these just a couple minutes to cool, and then we're gonna cut into all 4 to see what the texture is gonna be on the inside and if there are any major differences. So let's start from the least involved and then go down to the most involved. This is obviously the one that we sprinkled seasoning on, but we didn't do anything else to it. Now moving on to the one that we sprinkled the seasoning on and rubbed in. Oil marinated. Right away I can tell the difference in cutting it. They are much softer and easier to cut. It's just overall a juicier piece of meat. And then let's get into the one with the lime juice. Same thing, super easy to cut. The knife goes right through it. There's pretty much no resistance at all. Now let's go ahead and give them a taste. Really good, tender, no complaints. Same thing, tastes really good. The main thing when it comes to cooking chicken is that you don't overcook it. I think that kind of goes without saying, but I think that these techniques can really help you to avoid that. It gives you a little bit more leeway. So I can taste the difference in this one between these two because there's a depth of flavor that's not here. Now let's go to the one with the citrus. Yeah, so good. Honestly, all of them are good, but the more you do to it, the more you can taste the flavor. Like the more effort, the more you can taste that. If you're short on time, this will work, and also this will work. But if you have the extra time in the morning to just put the marinade on it, or put a little bit of oil, a little bit of citrus in there, and let it marinate all day, it will be the most tender piece of meat you've ever eaten. And you can thank me later. So now let me show you a quick little recipe that you can use with this chicken. Just throw it together. So this is one of the easiest lunches you're ever gonna make. Grab yourself a tortilla or a flatbread. Add your chicken, as much or as little as you want. Take some romaine lettuce. There's literally no wrong way to do this. You can add as little or as much as you want. Now we're taking some Parmesan cheese and some Caesar dressing. Now we just want to go ahead and give it a roll. Cut it in half. And you end up with the best little chicken Caesar wrap. So good, so easy. You can prep your chicken and then just make these for lunch. And they legit take like 2 minutes to throw together. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.